Right, so today we're going over the pros and cons of each destination type that you can send your leads to via Facebook and Instagram advertising. So let's go over the different types of destinations. So we've got lead form. I forgot the D on the end. Lovely. Lead form, direct, direct, messenger. Now you've also got direct to WhatsApp as well, but we'll go over that in a second. Direct to messenger, direct to phone call. All right, and then you've also got funnels, and then you've also got a website. And those are the main ones. So you've got lead form, direct messenger, direct phone call, funnels, and website. Now we're going to go over each and every single one of these to find out which one is probably going to be best for you and your company. All right. So let's start with lead form. Nice and simple, lead form. Right. This is probably what I would recommend for intermediate to beginner kind of people and companies. All right. So lead form. What does that even fucking mean? Right. So lead form is basically just a form like this, right? So this is your phone, lovely, iPhone, whatever. After people have signed up to your ad, it will have a little thing on the screen like this, right? It will say, I always recommend saying maybe thank you for your interest, so thanks, right? And then here I'll have, oh, you can choose whatever you want to put in here, but I normally say, please answer the following questions and then input your contact information and we'll be in contact soon, or something like that. Just something simple, nothing too elaborate. You don't want a whole box of text there. But anyway, after this, you can ask them questions. So, question 1, question 2, question 3, right? So in question 1, you can ask them what kind of services are they looking for. So they're looking for, and this depends on what you're offering in the ad, because you want this lead form to represent what you're offering in the ad. So if you're offering a whole garden refurb, obviously what kind of service you're looking for might not be applicable because you're aiming to attract customers who are looking for a whole garden refurb. Does that make sense? But if you're offering something like ground maintenance, maybe you can include here lawn mowing, hedge trimming, tree surgery, whatever you want to include in that. You can ask them what kind of service are they most looking for. Going back to whole garden refurb, you can ask them, tell us a little bit more about the project you have planned, or tell us a little bit more about what you want done to your garden, or something like that, right? Now, the second question could also be something like budget. So, how much of a budget do you have planned for this project or this work or whatever the case is, right? Now, question 3 can also be, well, you can ask any question that you like. That is the beauty of a lead form, right? Question 3, I would recommend that you ask them maybe a little bit more about the service that they want. Do they have a time frame in mind? Do they want this right away? Do they want this in 6 months, 10 months, whatever? So question 1, what they're looking for. Question 2, budget. Question 3, time frame. Right. Now after that, after they've answered that question, answered those questions, sorry, they will go to the, let's get rid of the thanks bit as well. They will go to the contact information section, right? So on here, it will say, please enter your contact information so that we can give you a ring or give you a message or whatever, right? So it'll have name, right? Their name, especially. Phone, what's their phone number? What's their email, right? Now, obviously, because you're a tradie and because you need to actually go on site to do a quotation and actually to carry out the work, you can also ask address. This just saves you the ball ache address. This just saves you the ball ache of having to ask that on the phone, and it just saves any kind of miscommunication, any mistakes, right? You can also ask them a few other personal information questions like, I don't know, city that they live in, or There's loads of things that you can ask him. Anyway, that is the basic gist of how a lead form looks and would work. Right. Now let's go over the pros and cons of that. Right. So the pros are, because it's a lead form, it's done by Facebook. So stays in Facebook. Right. They don't have to go anywhere. Right. They just click on the ad, answer the questions, enter the contact information. Once they've done that, they're straight back onto Facebook. They haven't gone anywhere, right? They haven't made that journey to an external location like a funnel, like a website or anything like that. That just helps with the trust factor, because if you're sending them out of Facebook, they might have a bit of skepticism about, okay, is this site safe? Am I giving my contact information out to anyone, right? It just helps, right? It also helps with the fact that there's no loading time. If you're sending them to a funnel or a website, there might be a 5-10 second loading time that they have to wait, where you might be losing leads, right? Because I'm sure you'd agree, everyone is lazy. I'm lazy, you're lazy. No one can be asked to wait 5 seconds for something to load. They'd rather just click off and move on with their day, right? Especially nowadays, people just can't be asked, right? So it stays in Facebook. That is a pro, right? Another pro, you can ask qualifying questions. Qualifying questions. I'm just going to put Q there because I can't be asked to write that out, the whole thing. Anyway, you're going to ask qualifying questions. So this saves you a little bit of time in the back end, right? Because you've asked them what is their project, time frame, what is their budget. You can kind of sift through the people who are have the most intent. So the people who want it right away, like right now, you can sift through that, determine who is your kind of ideal customer, who you want to actually work with, and things like that. Also, budget, it gives you a bit of a clue about what they have planned, like, and what the budget is on that. Do you know what I mean? And if it's realistic or not, because some people might want the whole garden redone, but they've only got £100 to spend, and obviously that just goes straight out the window. You know what I mean? So it allows you to ask qualifying questions, and that is the most important bit, right? What other pros are there? It's also very easy setup. Very easy setup. It will take me about 5 seconds, maybe not 5 seconds, but like a minute to set one of these up. Obviously, when you first start doing these, it might take you a bit longer because there is a lot of options on there and things that you have to follow and things that you have to work out for yourself, right? But once you get the knack of it, it's very easy to set up. I can set one up in 2 minutes flat, right? Very easy, right? A little tip for you here, right? If you come to the privacy policy section, just use your Facebook URL. Use your Facebook URL and it'll go through, right? You don't have to make a privacy policy. You don't have to pay a lawyer to make a privacy policy. You can just insert your Facebook URL and Facebook will use that. It's not a problem, right? Easiest setup. Well, maybe not out of all of the ones that we speak about, but very easy, right? Now let's talk about cons, right? So because it's so easy, and because it's on Facebook, and because you're only asking them a few questions, you're not really giving them any information about who you are and what you guys do, right? So limited info, right? And this can work to your advantage, and it can also work to your disadvantage, right? The reason why it can work to your advantage is because people who have interest, but they're not certain yet, or they just don't have much intent, you will still get their contact information and things like that. So you can still convert that into a sale. The only problem with that is you are going to have a lot of people who don't have much intent. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you offer and things like that, right? So, and that's where funnels and websites have the upper hand. You have a lot more space and a lot more chance to convey your message, to convey your service, to convey your business to that prospect. So limited info, pro and con, in my opinion. Also, because it's so easy and because it's industry standard, probably, it doesn't make you stand out. So, how do we word this? Does not make you stand out. Now, this is not the end of the world, right? Because this is just the first step in a very long process, right? Of course, you're not going to be able to give that customer all the information right then and there on the ad and on the ad copy and the destination that you're sending them to, even if it is through your website, which is the most information that you can pack on a destination, right? There's still going to be questions that they have that you can't answer on text or on a website or anything like that. The reason why, and I've started with lead form because it's my favorite, right? The lead form is so good because it only takes you 5 minutes to set up. That means you can start your ads sooner, get leads sooner, and it gives you a broader a broader audience to market your service to, right? Because it's so easy to fill out. There's only a few questions on there. You know, it's not going to take much time, so you get the best of the bunch, but you also get some. It's a bit like a to be completely honest, it's a bit like a hill, right? You're gonna get people down here who are fucking shit, right? But you're also gonna get people who are your ideal customer, right? And you're also gonna get people who are fucking shit again, right? So you're gonna have a bit of a spectrum, yeah. You're gonna have some bad, some good, and then some bad again. Yeah. It's just the way that lead forms kind of work. You gather the whole kind of spectrum, if you will. Now, let's move on to direct to messenger. So, direct to messenger. And I've made it too small. Anyway, direct to messenger. This is probably going to be your best bet if it is just you advertising your service, right? If you don't have the capital, if you don't have the budget to hire externally, like an agency, like myself, this is probably going to be your best bet. Because, and I shit you not, it's going to take you 2 seconds. Right, 2 seconds to set this up. Probably even less if you already have Messenger linked to your account, right? Because literally, and I shit you not, it's literally a box like that, and you just have to click it, and now all your leads are sent to Messenger, right? And then every time someone signs up, well, clicks on your ad, clicks on send a message, it will take them through to a conversation in Messenger, right? Very easy, very simple. Literally takes 2 seconds. This is probably going to be your best bet if, like I say, you're maybe a one-man band, you're looking for a few more customers, but you don't yet have the capital to hire someone externally to do this all for you. This also negates the fact that you don't need a CRM, so you don't need anything like Guy High Level, any sort of software or anything. It's literally all done in Facebook, right? And Facebook Messenger, obviously. So you don't need a CRM, sorry. You don't need a CRM. That saves you a lot of money, people. I'm talking £500 a month, right? That saves you 500 quid a month just solely on the fact that you don't have a CRM. Yeah? So, moving on from that, what else is good about direct messenger? Now, if you do this right, now this is the most important bit. If you do this right, speed to lead will be exceptional to lead, right? Now, I have another video on this. Please do go watch that if you haven't already. But speed to lead is the most important thing that you can do when it comes to Facebook and Instagram advertising. The reason why direct to messenger, is so good is because speed to lead is instantaneous, right? They literally click on start a chat or start a conversation, and then they can ask their question. They can ask, have you got any time to come around and do a quote or anything like that? You just need to make sure that you are quite literally answering them back within 5 minutes. The longer you wait to message them back and the longer you wait to contact them, the less likely they are to convert into a sale, right? The only reason why I would recommend direct to messenger for beginners, for one-man bands maybe, and things like that, is because it's all done on Facebook. There's literally no hurdles for your leads to jump through. There's no questions that you can ask them. Well, unless you start a conversation on Messenger, but there's no pre-qualifying. There's no anything like that. It's literally instant, speed to lead, very quick, right? Very good if you don't have the budget to hire someone to sit there all day and wait for a lead to come through for them to call them, right? Very good. But let's talk about the cons of this, because there are a few. So, main con, no qualifying. Qualifying. I don't know if I spelled that right, but anyway, no qualifying. This means you can't ask them any questions before they start a conversation with you. So what does that mean? You're going to have a lot of time wasters. And I would even argue you're going to have a lot of people who are going to send you a message and then never ever reply to you ever again, right? However, that again comes down to speed to lead and other external factors, right? But no qualifying means you're going to have more time wasters and it's going to waste your time even more, right? So no qualifying. That is the main issue with direct to messenger, direct to WhatsApp. Another problem is if you don't have speed to lead in the front of your mind each and every time you contact someone, no one's going to reply. No one will reply, right? No one's going to reply. I promise you, if you don't contact them within 5 minutes of them starting a conversation with you, you're not going to get anywhere. It's just chucking money on the fire. I promise you, right? No one's going to reply. As well, no contact information. No contact info. So, and the reason why we as an agency owner, people like myself, have CRMs and things like that is so we can get contact information and send them text messages and emails and things like that to further increase conversion rates. However, with direct to messenger, you don't have any contact information. With WhatsApp, you might have their phone number, right? You might get their phone, but at the end of the day, if they're not replying to text messages when they first sign up, they're not going to reply to text messages either, like further down the line. So that's irrelevant, right? And that is the main drawback from direct to messenger. It's no contact information. You can't, call them, you can't text them, you can't email them. You've only got Messenger or WhatsApp. It depends on what you do, right? You've got no contact information. That also, a little bit more advanced here, but that also hinders you in the future from creating lookalike audiences based on people who have signed up to an ad. You can download a whole file of contact information like emails and phone numbers, upload that back into Facebook, and literally target those people all over again, which quite literally leads to further increasing your conversion rate. And people who have already signed up but might not go anywhere, they're literally standing there with a hand out, waiting for you to offer them your service, right? So, direct to messenger, we've covered that one. Very good for beginners. Ensure speed to lead, otherwise you're going to regret it. Few drawbacks, few advantages, but overall, not too bad, right? Direct to phone. Direct to phone. Right, so direct to phone. What are some of the pros? Probably quite literally the quickest way you could get someone booked in, right? Quickest way, right? Because people are literally going to click on the number, click on call us now, or whatever it is, and they're going to call you up, and you just have to make sure you answer, and then you can get them booked in for a quote or explain your service to them more thoroughly, or whatever the case is, right? That's the quickest way. However, right, because it's the quickest way, people aren't going to want to do it. I know that sounds a bit weird, right? But, and I'm sure you're aware, people, especially nowadays, right? Don't want to pick up the phone at all, right? Want to call. This is because what I think personally, the reason why people don't want to call is because if they feel like if they call, they're already committing to something. And it is the the older generation don't mind about this, but if especially now you're going to face a lot more of the younger generation who have just bought their house or just moved into a new house, wanting to get their garden redone and things like that, who don't like calling. They prefer texting and email and stuff like that because there's less committal, right? There's less commitment that they have to do, right? So yeah, a bit of a pro and a bit of a con, right? So yeah, phone calls are all right. I've seen them work. I've seen them not work. Um, it's probably going to be the quickest way to get quotes booked in. But then, are you going to get the number of leads that you want? Probably not, because there's a high commitment in order to call someone and get service done that way. If that makes sense, right? So a lot of commitment. You're going to get very good leads because you're going to get direct to them. And they're going to call you up straight away. But yet again, you're going to let some slip through the net, right? So we've done lead form, done messenger, done phone calls. What's next? Funnels, right? Funnel. Now, funnels are essentially lead forms, just external external forms, if that makes sense. So, as I said earlier, lead forms are in Facebook. Funnels are out of Facebook, right? And because they're out of Facebook, you have a lot more customability, right? Excuse my writing and excuse my spelling because I can't spell for shit, right? Customability. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you're going to have a lot more flexibility in what you can change on the lead form. Now, you can ask questions, right? Questions. That's an A, not a Q. Brilliant. Questions, right? You can ask loads of questions. You can ask a whole fucking page if you want to, right? You ask questions. You can change color, right? You can change fonts, add branding, and it's going to give you a lot more flexibility in the fact that you can customize it and create your own funnel, right? It's going to be solely for your company, which is again is going to help with your brand identity and customer trust, if that makes sense. So a lot more customability. You can also add like a VSL, video sales loom or link, I think it is. Basically, where you just explain your service, explain and offer free value, basically. Yeah, again, helps with trust. Value. That's Valve, but value is right. You don't have to do a VSL. You can also just add, photos and videos of previous work that you completed with text on there explaining how you guys are different or how you guys do what you do. It just helps you build trust, all right? Build trust. Helps you build trust, and that kind of culminates into better quality leads, all right? Better quality, right? Helps you get better quality because people are going to spend more time researching, maybe not researching, but reading about you and your company before they fill out their contact information, right? So it's going to result in better quality, more intent, higher intent people. Does that make sense? So better trust. However, let's go over the cons. Sorry. So main con, out of Facebook, right? Facebook, right? Now this is where the kind of catch-22 comes into place, right? Because it's out of Facebook, you're gonna have loading time. So loading time, right? There are certain things you can do to mitigate this, to make it more quicker on a refresh, basically. But loading time, you don't want it any more than 5 to 10 seconds loading time. Otherwise, people are just not going to bother. People are lazy. Remember that. People are so lazy when it comes to signing up to things. The more time it takes, the less people you're going to get involved. Right? Loading time, also lack of recognizability. I don't fucking know. Basically, if you, it all depends how you set it up. But essentially, if you have your ad and your ad copy tailored towards your funnel, it's going to work very well. However, let's say you have an ad, right, where you're doing there's lovely little trees here, lovely, right, lovely back garden that you've done, new patio over here, right, new patio, right, lovely bit of Indian sandstone, whatever the case is, right. And then here you're going to have your ad copy, yeah? So lots of bits of text and stuff like that explaining, ad copy and things like that. If you then have your funnel with nothing related to your ad, people are going to be so confused, right? So if this is a whole garden refurb and then your funnel is tailored towards fucking hedge cutting, they're not going to have a clue what's going on, right? So you've got to make sure that your funnel is very closely linked to your ad and your ad copy itself. Does that make sense? So you can't have one service here and then your funnel tailored towards a different service. Otherwise, people are just going to go, it's just going to go over their heads, right? So that's something to watch out for. Yeah? Funnels are good. The only other thing that I would say is a con is the domain link up. Domain link. Now, this just could be me. Some people find this very easy. I find it very difficult because you have to do a lot of DNS records, right? I'm sure some sites where you can make funnels, because like I say, they're not in Facebook, so you're going to have to do this externally with either Go High Level, ClickFunnels, or there's a few other out there. But anyway, depending on which, I've only ever tried it on Go High Level, so this just could be my opinion, my experience. It was very hard to link my domain, and it was very hard to set up the DNS records. That could just be my domain provider and GHL just don't like each other, and it could just be that I'm stupid. Probably true, right? But for an average person like yourself, you might struggle with it as well. So that's one thing to take into account, right? It's going to be very hard for you to know what you're doing right off the bat. It's going to be very hard for you to design a very beautiful funnel as well. Because remember, right, people buy with their eyes. People buy with their eyes each and every time. So the better design you have on your funnel, the better your conversion rate will be, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all on funnels. Very good if you can do them right, but only if you do them right. So let's go on to website, right? Website. So website. Now this is obviously only applicable if you do have a website in place already. When it comes to sending leads to your website, I would always recommend you send them to the contact form on your website straight away. So basically how you link this up is on your ads manager and in your campaign, you will be asked where do you want to send these people? So you click on website and then you copy and paste the URL that you want these leads to go to. So go onto your contact form page on your website. So where people sign up onto your website for you to give them a call. I would always have that as the URL of the contact form, just because this creates less confusion when it comes to what am I supposed to do now, right? If you send them to your about section, right, about, they're not going to have a clue what they're doing, right? They're just going to be reading about you. They're not going to be interested in signing up. They're probably just going to click off the website and you've lost the lead, right? So make sure the first ever page you send them to on your website is the contact form, because that just allows you to get their contact information in the books and ready for you to contact them, right? After which, they're more than welcome, right, to have a little look at everything else on your website, including the about section or the services that you guys do or whatever the case is. They have the flexibility there to go research about you and your business, right? That is the main pro about a website, is loads of info. Yeah, loads of information on there. They will look at that and think to themselves, right, Mr. Joe Blogs, who owns Landscaping ABC, this is what he does, right? He does full garden refurbs. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's got loads of industry experience, got all the tools, everything that you want, right? Lovely job, right? Loads of info, loads and loads and loads of info. A pro with the website, and I forgot to mention this about funnels, so just take that on board. You can do this with funnels as well. Is Pixel tracking, right? Lovely G there, right? Pixel tracking. Now this is, it dives into the realms of complicated. I'm just going to keep it very simple. Basically, your Facebook pixel is something that you need to set up on Facebook, regardless of what you do. Your pixel is basically there just to keep sending data to and from Facebook to your destination, to and from your destination to Facebook. Your pixel is basically just like a tracking hub, right? Of all the people who have signed up to your ad, of all the people who have shown an interest, who have signed up but not converted, or whatever the case is, right? It just allows Facebook to do better tracking in the future. No? Right. You can integrate this into your website by copying and pasting a line of code and inputting it into your header of your website. Don't ask me how to do that if you don't have a partnered integration with Facebook. So if you have your website from like Gary down the road, do you know what I mean? It's going to be very hard for you to do that because you don't know who's actually hosting that website. But if you've got a website from WordPress, or fucking GoDaddy, or any of the other main kind of website providers, happy days. Is literally a couple buttons and you're sorted, right? You're fully integrated. However, if you have got a website from Gaza down the road, right, it's going to be very difficult for you to integrate that. Best bet, if you do have a website from Gaza, ask Gaza, right? Ask Gaza if he can do it, right? Because if he's set up your website, he probably knows what he's doing. He probably has inputted a bit of code into your website already. Just ask him if he can do it. If Gaza can't because he's down at the pub, right, then get a coder to do it. Now, I don't mean go hire someone full time and to sit at home and do fuck all. I mean go on Fiverr and literally pay someone £10 to see if they can do it for you. Right? Very simple. Literally £10. Bob's your uncle. Happy days. Let's move on. Right? Yeah. So that is the main kind of gist with the website. Very good. If you have a nice, well-designed website, send them to the contact form on your website. First thing, remember that, right? And then any leads that come through to your website, make sure you've got it integrated back into Facebook to help with better conversion in the back end of it, right? So that is all the pros and cons for those. What would I say is the best? Best, right? In my honest opinion, lead forms. Simply because, right? Simply because it's going to take you 5 minutes to set this up, and then you could get your ads running the same day that you do this. rather than waiting for you to build a website or for you to build a funnel or for you to get all these things integrated. Just use a lead form. Very bog standard, very simple. Like I said earlier, you're going to get a kind of mountain. You're going to get some shit people. You're going to get some absolutely donny people, right? So it's all about playing the game and how well you play it.